Meanwhile, nearly 2 weeks, voters will decide who will be Alabama's next U.S. Senator, Republican Roy Moore or Democrat Doug Jones. It's a race that's dominated the national headlines as Moore is surrounded by scandal and allegations of sexual misconduct.
My name's Roy Moore, and I approve this message.
5 state campaigns, 40 years of honorable service. Roy Moore has been intensely scrutinized and not a hint of scandal.
As Republican Senate candidate Roy Moore fights off allegations of sexual misconduct, his Democratic opponent Doug Jones continues to hit him hard with new campaign ads.
They were girls when Roy Moore immorally pursued them. Now they are women, witnesses to us all of his disturbing conduct.
Moore is accused of being a sexual predator. 2 women claim he assaulted them 40 years ago when they were teenagers and he in his 30s. With just 16 days until voters head to the polls, top Republicans are still calling for the embattled former judge to step aside.
It is pretty clear to me that the best thing that Roy Moore could do for the country is to move on. The reality of it is that the allegations are still very strong and credible, and the denial has been weak, gotten a little stronger, but it's still fairly weak.
With his campaign in trouble and the balance of power in Washington at stake, President Trump is rallying behind Moore, tweeting, "The last thing we need in Alabama and the U.S. Senate is a Schumer-Pelosi puppet who is weak on crime, weak on the border, bad for our military and our great vets, bad for our Second Amendment, and wants to raise taxes to the sky. Jones would be a disaster." While Jones didn't acknowledge the president's tweet, a statement by his campaign said Moore was not fit to serve in the U.S. Senate even before sexual misconduct claims surfaced earlier this month.
The moral of the story is don't nominate somebody like Roy Moore who could actually lose a seat that any other Republican could win. And from a party perspective, we got to look long-term, not short-term. And what I would tell President Trump, if you think winning with Roy Moore is going to be easy for the Republican Party, you're mistaken.
Fox 10 News is committed to following any developments in this race. Voters will head to the polls on December 12th. And as a reminder, the last day to register to vote is tomorrow. We'll bring you the very latest up through Election Day on air and online again at fox10tv.com.